She was excited about him giving her a toothbrush. Like, what?
There's only one pink brush head, and Big was giving his to me. It was the single most encouraging moment so far in our relationship.
He would not have spent 5 minutes in my presence. Like, I would have sensed the player energy. I can sense when a man is a player, and I'm like, no, thank you, bye.
How many women are you dating?
In the tri-state area?
Well, let's see. There's me, Julia. Oh, and let's not forget International Melissa.
Carrie, I'm not doing this here.
I'm always saying that, ladies, if you think only bad men exist, then that is all you're going to see.
Why do you hate guys so much?
Excuse me?
We just met, so I know that ain't all about me.
Hello, my beautiful darlings. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day today, and thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about dating mistakes from the TV show, the ultimate TV show that I absolutely adore, Sex and the City, and I have all the DVDs, so I love this show since forever, and dating is a big part of the show, and I think that there are some mistakes that the characters are doing that we can learn from, because they are doing a lot of mistakes. And I think this is a beautiful opportunity to have a little chit chat and have a little tea with me. So take your cup of tea. That's just the perfect girly time, like to have our feminine energy, talk about our favorite TV show, and have a little tea together. So let's enjoy. But first, just wanted to let you know that if you want to see more of my content, I talk about fashion, femininity, old Hollywood glamour, seduction, elegance, and anything to make you become a highly feminine lady. Feel free to join the channel, the link is down below, and also follow me on my Instagram. Look how beautiful. I'm drinking like green tea with jasmine. This is so good. I feel their feminine energy with the tea and the relaxing sound of Sex and the City. So first of all, let's talk about Carrie, because Miss Carrie had so many mistakes that she was doing. We have first Carrie being desperate to please a man and ignoring red flags. Carrie was definitely giving me the most desperate out of the four. Carrie was the most desperate to please a man, to have a man, and to be with a man in a relationship.
Just tell me I'm the one. Come on, you don't have to tell your mother or the whole world. Just tell me.
And she was so desperate to please Big. I mean, what was so incredible about him? I'm still wondering. He's obviously good looking, he has a good situation, and he is kind of nice. Let's say he has some charm, but he was treating her so badly. She is desperate to have commitment with him, even though she knows that he is completely unavailable emotionally. She was excited about him giving her a toothbrush. Like, what?
There's only one pink brush head, and Big was giving his to me. It was the single most encouraging moment so far in our relationship.
And she was so excited in one episode of him calling her his girlfriend. I remember it should be him being excited of you calling him your boyfriend. She completely put him on a pedestal and put him as the prize. And you see, when you do that to a man, they treat you badly because they want a beautiful prize, and she was not putting herself as that. This incredible woman that he has to conquer, he has to prove himself to. It's a privilege to call me your girlfriend. It should be a privilege that you have to earn. It's not like, oh my god, he called me his girlfriend. Oh my god, I'm so honored. A man professing that you are his girlfriend is the bare minimum. He did not do anything crazy for her. I did not see any flowers, any grand gestures, anything about him like, you know, wanting to commit to her, anything about him saying how much he loves her, how much he's crazy about her. I did not see all of that. Nothing, actually. She was just chasing him the whole time. She was ignoring red flags with Big being very inconsistent. He was the most inconsistent man I've ever seen. Like, especially in the first seasons, he was almost never talking. For some reason, I never found him really that alluring, because he was not talking, not saying anything. And as when we fall in love with men talking and men giving us compliments, grand gestures, and talking about the future, he was not doing anything. He was closed off, and he was really a player. He was a player.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I believe in lust at first sight.
I'm serious.
So am I.
He would not have spent 5 minutes in my presence. Like, I would have sensed the player energy. I can sense when a man is a player, and I'm like, no, thank you, bye.
How many women are you dating?
In the tri-state area?
Well, let's see. There's me, Julia. Oh, and let's not forget International Melissa.
I'm not doing this here.
Oh, you remember with Jack Berger? He was so annoying. I hated him. This guy was clearly insecure. You can see all of his insecurities. And I remember it was when Carrie published her book, which was a huge thing for her. It was beautiful. She was finally an author. And he was so insecure about his own career.
And I'm sorry, but I am not sorry I made that money. I worked really hard for it. And I never thought that you would be the type of guy that would have a problem with that.
Well, neither did I, but I guess I do, don't I?
And he was so insecure about the slightest comment that she would make. And this is not also a good thing for a man. I think a man should be secure in himself and not feel threatened by the slightest comment that she would make.
If you thought that I had made some kind of mistake, I would want you to tell me.
Oh? Nice hat.
And you know that I understand that men have a big ego. They're ruled by competition and competence, so they don't like to feel criticized. But I didn't feel like Carrie criticized Berger in any way. She was not critical. On top of it, when she was talking about his book, she gave him so many compliments, and he was stuck about the scrunchie thing. Like when she mentioned, oh, like a woman should not wear a scrunchie about his book, that he made a mistake. It was not that big of a deal, and I think a man being that sensitive is a red flag. She completely ignored it.
I don't know what your problem is, but it doesn't have anything to do with a scrunchie.
Yeah, it's about the fact that my book is a big fat fucking failure.
Wait, what?
It's just, you know, I already feel like shit. You trying to pump me up all night, not helping.
Also, the second thing with Carrie is that she would not define the relationship that they had. Carrie dated Mr. Big for years and years, and they never defined their relationship. He was like nonchalant like that and just, oh, okay, we're having fun, we're feeling nice together. Well, in that case, I'm dating other men, you know, which led to complete confusion and heartbreak. I think it was in season 1. At some point they were dating, and then she was in a restaurant with her girlfriends and she sees Big with another woman, having lunch with another woman, and that's how she discovered that he was still seeing other women.
Are you on a date?
Sort of.
I can't believe it. He's seen other women. Rick.
If I was her, I would just end it at that point. And she stayed with him. And I feel like a man should be completely crazy about you and really into you. You should have no question about his commitment towards you. You should not have to ask him, what are we? What is our relationship? Are we boyfriend, girlfriend? No. It should be completely clear, because he's so crazy about you that he say it without you asking. You will have a man being crazy about you and doing anything for you, which was the case with Aiden afterwards. Also, she was constantly pursuing unavailable men. She had a pattern of pursuing men that were unavailable emotionally or that could not commit, that were against commitment. That includes Mr. Big. Obviously, he was a walking red flag, this one.
Come on, I mean, what do you want from me?
What do I want from you? Nothing.
And that also includes Alexander Petrovsky, who was prioritizing his career rather than her. He moved to Paris and she had to move to accommodate him. And then even when he was in Paris, he would not prioritize her. He would leave her alone. He would just, you could see that he was completely not crazy about her, and she was not his priority. And that's a big red flag also. That's something you should not ignore, ladies.
How could you just abandon me like that when I gave up my party to be with you?
I didn't abandon you.
I sat on a bench alone in a museum.
Then also, Carrie was putting her needs last. She was constantly putting her partner's need before her own. And you could see it also with Alexander Petrovsky. She moved to Paris to accommodate him, even though that's not really what she wanted. Like in New York, she had her whole life, her friends, everything, and in Paris she knew nobody, and she was feeling completely uncomfortable in the city. She was basically his shadow, like not really feeling like herself.
I had a life in New York. I had a job and friends, and I didn't give all of that up to come here and wander the streets of Paris alone.
Also, Carrie tends to be selfish and undecisive. She struggled to make decisions when it came to Aiden. She was really struggling to make decisions and knowing what she wanted. It's almost like she didn't know what she wanted throughout the whole series. For example, when she was dating Aiden, she cheated on him with Big, and then she didn't know who she wanted, and then she came back with Aiden, and then he was like, okay, now we're serious, let's get married, I want to be with you, I want to buy you an apartment. Like, he bought the apartment, he was really serious. I think Aiden was really a good boyfriend, and he would have made an amazing husband, and she didn't know what she wanted. She said no, so she begged him to take her back, but then afterwards she doesn't want to be with him anymore.
Just live together.
I don't want to live together. I've had girlfriends for 20 years. I want you to be my wife.
And also selfish, because to cheat on Aiden with Big and not care about anybody else, not care about her boyfriend, the fact that Big was married and he did not care, the fact that you have also Natasha, which was the wife, you don't have respect for marriage as a whole. I think that was a big sign of selfishness. Now let's talk about Charlotte, because I love Charlotte. She's just so cute, elegant, beautiful. I love her marriage with Harry. I think they're my favorite couple of the whole TV show. I just love Harry in the show. I think he was the best husband. I think he's the ultimate husband, just crazy about his wife, would do anything for her.
I think you are the sexiest woman I ever met.
Harry, don't be ridiculous. I'm wearing my glasses.
It makes me crazy when you say my name.
He is very masculine. Also, he's very strong. He's a lawyer, and he's also a shark at being a lawyer, so he's really good. And obviously he's very successful. He can take care of her, and they can have this beautiful traditional marriage that she truly wants.
What a putz your ex-husband must be.
Trey was not
Was
a
a
putz.
putz. If I was lucky enough to have you in my bed, I would never be able to take my hands off you. Believe me, I never thought a chick's goddess like you would fall for a putz like me.
Before she met Harry, she made some mistakes. Even though I love Charlotte, she has a lot of boundaries. Like, the way she views dating is really good. She has this kind of high value mentality in her.
I'm nice, and I'm pretty, and I'm smart. I'm a catch.
Yes, you're a catch.
But she did make some little mistakes. First mistake would be she was a bit too judgmental. Charlotte had very high standard when it comes to men, and I completely understand that. It's normal to have high standards, but there are some things that she was a little bit exaggerating on. She would dismiss potential partner for trivial reason. For example, she was dating this man. I remember this man was first dating Carrie, and he wanted to get married. Like, he was this type of man that really wanted to get married, and Carrie was like, no, I'm not sure if I want to get married, so I'm going to introduce you to my friend Charlotte, then you would have something in common. And then Charlotte, she dated him, he was nice, he was serious, he had a great apartment, but then she broke up with him for like the insane reason that he did not like the same decor on the plates than her. At first also she was a bit too judgmental with Harry. She did not like him because he was not her type at first. But at the end he ended up being this perfect husband, the perfect husband for her, and would do anything for her and treating her as a prize. Contrary to Mr. Big with Carrie, which was treating her like she was disposable. He was really treating her as like, I'm using her for now. And then he married Natasha. Wow, I really don't like him. So sometimes, ladies, don't be too judgmental and don't dismiss men for like really reasons that don't really matter. Like his height, or how his hair are, or how he dressed, or things like that. There are some things that don't really matter and won't really determine that it would be a good husband or not. What things are the most important for you? What things are really deal breaker for you? There are certain things that should be important for you. For example, is he nice? Is he respectful? Is he a provider? Is he able to take care of a family? Is he masculine? Like, does he have manners? You know, is he treating people with respect? There are certain things that, yes, are very important. But there are other little things like that women prefer, obviously. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to really know if he's going to be a good husband. One time I heard women, they dismiss a man just because he didn't have the right socks. I was like, how is that important? The right socks? Seriously, ladies. I think the second thing that Charlotte did as a mistake was rushing into marriage just to get married. And don't get me wrong, I love Charlotte. I love the fact that she knows what she wants. But she got engaged with Trey very quickly after a month, I think. And she was so in a rush to get married that she kind of technically proposed to him. You should not get married to someone just to get married, just to have this, okay, now I'm married now.
Trey can't get it up. What? We slept together last night and he couldn't get it up. Was he drunk? No, I was drunk. He was fine.
It is a big decision. You're going to spend the rest of your life with that person, every single day with that person. And you can see it with Charlotte that this man was not a good match with her because once they were married, everything went wrong afterwards. At the end of the day, I think she did not know Trey that well, and she just loved the idea of him and the idea of just having a husband, which is not a good thing. You should get to know him truly, and not just if you're having chemistry, but knowing if you are actually compatible with somebody. Of course, I'm not for a man waiting too long either to ask you for marriage, obviously. There's then Miranda, and I love Miranda. She's so funny, but she had a tendency to be cynical about men. She was the most cynical one about men, and her view of men was really, really dark. She did generalize men in a bad way, always saying how men are all bad, all men are like this, that all men are the same, and that Prince Charming did not exist.
Why do you hate guys so much?
Excuse me?
We just met, so I know that ain't all about me.
That we should use men, kind of like what Samantha would say also, which is not helpful at all if you want to find a healthy men, a healthy masculine man especially. Like, you should not generalize men and say that all men are the same, because you wouldn't want a man to say the same thing about you, to say that all women are bad, all women are crazy. Like, when they say that, I just don't listen. I just laugh and don't listen. I'm always saying that, ladies, if you think only bad men exist, then that is all you're going to see.
Guys, maybe we should just get a table for us four.
I knew it. Big's not coming. Men are shit.
Miranda, what are you talking about?
Also, the next thing is being too guarded. I think Miranda was way too guarded in her feelings. She was not able to tap into her feminine. She was really, really in her masculine energy, being constantly in her guards. Contrary to Charlotte, who was really, really in her feminine energy a lot more. And Carrie was in her wounded feminine. So very desperate and craving for attention a lot more. But Miranda was way much into her masculine energy. Obviously, she's a lawyer, so that's hard to balance. All day long, she's in her masculine. To be in her feminine, it's very hard for her. It requires more effort. She often had a hard time opening herself up to men, which made it difficult for her to form deep connections. For example, when she was dating Steve, she had a hard time being vulnerable with him and making a connection with him and expressing her feelings. I think at the beginning even, Steve wanted really to see her, and she wanted to just treat him as a one-night stand, and she didn't want to believe that he was genuinely interested in her. That's how bad she would see men. She would see men just as like users. They were bad and we should just use them as a one-night stand. She had a very cynical view about men.
Can you for 1 second believe that maybe I'm not some full of shit guy? that maybe I do like you, that maybe the other night was special? Do you think that maybe you can believe that?
No.
And then Steve kind of made her change her mind because he was treating her with love and respect, and she did not experience that before. I think Miranda had a tendency to sabotage her relationships because it leads to everything. Her view of men was so cynical that she could not believe that men could be nice. So when a man was nice, she needed to sabotage it to confirm the fact that men are bad. You know, the brain is very strong like that. So unconsciously, she wanted to sabotage. For example, when she was dating Robert, oh my God, this man, Robert, he was incredible. I did not understand why she needed to sabotage the relationship with him, why she needed to break up with him. He was a doctor. He was handsome. He was nice. He was crazy about her, devoted to her, and very serious. I think she found him too good to be with her, and I think in some way she needed to sabotage the relationship. Like, it was self-sabotage. A lot of women do that. It's like she doesn't see herself as valuable enough to be able to be loved like that by this amazing man. So she will sabotage it, and unconsciously she started looking for flaws about him. Also, she was prioritizing work over relationship, again being in her masculine energy more than in her feminine. And she was busy with work. I understand that. She was a lawyer, she had a lot of responsibilities. It's very much that you can feel that work had a more important space in her head than finding a good man.
And may I remind you that when my mother died, I was back in the office on Monday.
On the contrary to Charlotte, Charlotte was prioritizing finding a husband a lot more. Samantha, don't we love Samantha? She is so confident, so sexy. She was so funny. She was the funniest of them all. She's seriously the funniest. I love Samantha. I love them all, seriously. But Samantha had trouble in relationships again. She was also, like Carrie, pursuing unavailable men that were emotionally or physically unavailable, just like Richard. And you can see that with Richard Wright. He was really unavailable emotionally, and I think she was also unavailable emotionally. She was the type of woman that would not be emotionally involved with any man, but with him she got a little bit more vulnerable. He had the audacity to take advantage of that. You do not do that to Samantha. She came back like a queen, throwing a glass at him, like, how dare you treat me, Samantha, the prize, the ultimate prize, like that. No.
Dirty martini? Dirty bastard.
I think that was really funny. Anybody that wanted to be with her needed to put her on a pedestal. She was the center of the relationship, basically, which sometimes she was too self-centered. Sometimes that was her mistake, which can make her partner feel neglected and unimportant.
I love you.
I love you too, Richard. But I love me more.
And I think that, for example, Smith Jerod, I think he is such a good man. Like, he was so handsome and so nice and so cute and so amazing. He became a big star, big actor. He was really, really amazing with her. She was struggling to acknowledge him in the relationship, care about his needs sometimes. Like, her needs were the priority, and that's it. That's a little bit of her problem in relationships, I think. Also, her next point would be being completely closed off emotionally. I think Samantha was the most closed off in terms of her emotions. Obviously, she did not want a serious relationship because it was about protecting herself and her needs and her emotions. She didn't want someone to have a hold on her like that. She wanted to feel like she always had the power. She always wanted to feel powerful.
Do you know that I didn't fuck a single or married guy the whole time Smith was out of town? And I'll tell you something else. I missed him.
She had trouble to trust men. With Smith, when he wanted to just hold her hand, she didn't want that.
Or tie.
No, I just had to.
She she really didn't want that. She didn't want it to open herself up to love.
It was Smith's fault. He did something to me that was so perverse. He tried to hold my hand.
At the end of the day, I think they did all make mistakes, but they did all learn from those mistakes. Thank you so much for watching, my darlings. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know a little bit your analysis on each character, like what do you think of each character, which one is your favorite? Mine is definitely Charlotte. Don't forget to subscribe also for more videos about femininity, dating, elegance, and anything girly. And also don't forget to follow me on my Instagram and on TikTok. Until next time, I'm giving you a lot of kisses and take care of you. Mwah. Do, 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 do.